Hi, I'm Early Mascareñas and I will be talking about sexual harassment. Harassment of any kind has no place in the workplace. If you are an employer subject to federal anti-discrimination laws, you have a legal obligation to provide a work environment that is free from intimidation, insult, or ridicule based on race, color, religion, gender, or national origin. You must also be concerned with preventing harassment because you can sometimes be sued in state courts, depending on your state's anti-discrimination laws. So, what is harassment? Harassment is a form of discrimination, any unwanted physical or verbal behavior that offends or humiliates you. Harassment occurs when someone first, makes unwelcome remarks or jokes about your race, religion, sex, age, disability, or any other of the grounds of discrimination. Second, threatens or intimidates you because of your race, religion, sex, age, disability, etc. And third, makes unwelcome physical contact with you, such as touching. An example of harassment is when a colleague repeatedly makes fun of your hijab if you are Muslim, when a manager regularly makes inappropriate comments about your physical appearance, and lastly, when an employee threatens your safety following a heated discussion. So, let's talk about sexual harassment. What is sexual harassment? Sexual harassment is defined as unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature. And these are the examples of sexual harassment, such as touching without consent, sneak a peek, degrading someone due to their sexuality, and unintentional move rub. What constitutes sexual harassment? First is that the feeling of submission to conduct is necessary in order to get or keep a job. Second, feeling that employment decisions such as raises, promotions, and demotions depend on whether he or she submits to or rejects the conduct. And third, interferes with a person's work performance or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive working environment. Some important facts to remember about sexual harassment are both men and women can be victims of sexual harassment. Second, either a man or a woman can be a harasser. According to a Supreme Court decision, illegal sexual harassment may be found even where the victim is the same sex as the harasser. Third is harassment can occur at work at company to sponsored events. And lastly, harassment situations can be peer against peer, supervisor against employee, or third party against employee. When is sexually based conduct harassment? It is an attraction between employees should be a private matter between employees, so long as it does not cross the boundary between welcome conduct and harassment. To determine whether sexual conduct in the workplace amounts to sexual harassment, distinctions must be made between sexual advances. So these are invited. If the conduct is welcome, harassment has not occurred, but could cause difficulties down the line if an office romance goes sour. Uninvited but welcome. Again, while there is no harassment, the potential for harassment could exist if our relationship between two employees breaks up. Offensive but tolerated. Just because an employee does not make a complaint does not mean that harassment is not occurring. If you see it or hear of it, put a stop to it. And lastly, flatly refuse. This is clearly harassment and should be handled accordingly. Sexual harassment can take several forms. The two most common forms are described as quid pro quo sexual harassment and hostile work environment sexual harassment. First is the quid pro quo harassment. It is the Latin for something or this for that. Only supervisors or managers can engage in this type of harassment since it requires the authority to grant a job favor in return for the unwelcome advance or request. An example of this is when an employee is asked, either directly or indirectly, to submit a sexual advance in exchange for some benefit at work, such as a promotion or a pay advance. Quid pro quo harassment has occurred. The second type of sexual harassment is the hostile work environment harassment. This type of harassment can be committed by co-workers or supervisors because it does not require any authority to create such an environment. An example of this is when employees tease and torment another employee of the same sex unmercifully for reasons relating to the employee's physical attributes, love life, and etc. Handling and preventing sexual harassment. The best way to reduce your liability should sexual harassment ever occur is to have policies and procedures in place that show that you did everything you could to prevent sexual harassment from occurring. As an added bonus, having a policy against sexual harassment will help you deal more effectively with any complaints you get from employees. The Republic Act of 7877, the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act. The state shall value the dignity of every individual, enhance the development of its human resources, guarantee full respect for human rights, and uphold the dignity of workers, employees, applicants for employment, students or those undergoing training, instruction, or education. Here are the top 6 essential for preventing and dealing with harassment. First is to create and communicate your anti-harassment policy. Second is to treat any incident as if it was a court case from the moment it is reported. Most importantly, notify your attorney right away. Third is to quickly investigate any claims that might occur. Fourth is to do whatever is necessary to stop the harassment immediately. Fifth is to restore any job benefits that were lost due to the harassment. And lastly, to discipline the person who committed the harassment. And always remember to keep on your guard, be cautious, and ready on handling sexual harassment in any kind of situations. Thank you.